America, and hello world. Good morning, Philippines. Welcome to the Teacher Voice. This is just an hour show that aims to give teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journey, thrilling adventures, share their splendid wisdom, and to inspire and give hope to our listeners and viewers. This show airs by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station, located in the heart of Las Vegas, every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the Philippines, it's Sunday, 9 in the morning. I am Teacher Judy, your host, and my co-host for tonight is Teacher Pasita Ross from New York City.
Hello.
And our dear Tita Josie, we are missing you here right now. But I know. Anyway, before we're gonna proceed our program tonight, let us greet our teachers and Tita Pasit. If you can greet our teachers there in the four corners of the world, that would be wonderful.
Okay. Hello, teachers. Hello sa buong mundo. Wherever the program reaches, we would like to say how are you and how do you do, and sana you're all doing well kasi it's about the time ng start ng classes and a lot of children are depending on you, teachers. So be well and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, teachers in the four corners of the world. We don't know what time is it in UK right now. I don't know. But anyway, here in the States, we want to greet you a happy evening. And in the Philippines, good morning to you guys. Now, this time we have a very wonderful guest for tonight. And later we will give him a time also to greet his friends back home. But right now, Tita Paset, I think Tita Paset is ready to introduce our guest for tonight.
Yes, with pleasure. Okay. We're really very proud of our guest tonight. And these are a few things about him. His career can be summarized and has evolved from being an explorer of minds to an explorer of minds. I love this analogy. He teaches the cross disciplines of physics, physical science, earth environmental systems, and geology in high school, college, and graduate schools. He has a combined 40 years of teaching, research, and mineral industry experiences that span across these nations. Wow. The Philippines, US, Australia, Germany, Indochina, and Japan. The highlight of his mineral industry career is being part of the team that discovered the 13 billion, it's the letter B, billion, second copper gold deposit in Laos. As a K-12 educator, he holds several science teaching certifications that include Gifted in Field and ESOL endorsements. He has received several local, state, and national teaching awards and professional travel grants. To continue his passion in mineral exploration, he still occasionally conducts part-time contract consulting work for mining companies.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our guest for tonight, Dr. Joel Aquino. Doc, good evening. It's time for you to greet your friends. And after that, we are going to grill you. No, I'm teasing. But Doc, it's time to greet your friends first.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat dito sa East Coast, United States. Naka-base po ako sa Atlanta. My name is Joel. And first of all, gusto ko lang kayong batiin, peace be with you all.
Wow.
Yan na pong pinakakailangan natin ngayon sa ating buhay. Yes, peace to ourselves, peace with everybody.
True,
Correct.
true.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doc!
Yes, ma'am.
Wow! Excited ako, tita. Excited ako to ask him. With
I am.
all this experience for 40 years, doctor, uh, I think this is I would say, the longest teacher that we are going to, in the service as a teacher in our show. The longest teacher that we're going to interview in the service. This is Dr. Joel Aquino. Doc, tell us why you from the Philippines, you went to Japan, you went to UK, you went to Germany, US. Can you please tell us, bakit
Naglamierda ka.
naglamerda si Doctor?
No,
What
ano
is
eh.
that? You really explore.
Yeah, yeah.
Explore talaga to. Okay, Doc.
Yeah, by nature po talagang I like to wander around. I like to go places. I like to take risk. So lahat naman siguro tayo na lumaki sa Pilipinas, we grew up in the Philippines, and sooner or later, somehow ang finances ang ang pinaka bottom line yan, how to support a family.
Correct.
True.
Totoo po yun. So I'm by nature po, I'm not an educator by like many of you na ang background nyo is education.
Oh.
So my real career is I'm a geologist. So ang bachelor's ko, my master's, all the way to my PhD sa geology.
Geology.
Yes, ma'am. And yes, ma'am. Sige po. Kayo.
So actually, you have the content knowledge. I could teach probably your subject, but I don't have the content knowledge. I only have the pedagogy. Pero
Right.
ikaw, with your content knowledge, pwedeng aralin na yung pedagogy, yung how to teach, di ba?
True.
It would not have been difficult. Am I right?
Totoo po yun, ma'am. In fact, yung mga teachers na galing sa Pilipinas na nag-immigrate dito sa US, there are two types, right? Most of them, or like most of you, have an education background. You were already a public educator sa Philippines. But some of us you have our content area. So we need to actually learn the pedagogy, which is, to my surprise, it's actually, I thought really, I'll be honest with you, I think, kasi naging instructor din ako sa University of the Philippines, and siyempre pag college level, you teach what you know. But it's totally different. Totally different. Wake up call sa akin yan eh. Iba pala talaga yung instructional pedagogy. So, yun ang...
True. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Doc. Isa pa, tita, I have a question here. It struck to me when I read your bio, and it says in here that, quote, explorer of minds to explorer of minds. I love this. So can you explain this, doctor? Can you explain this?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, you can short it into EM squared.
What is that, EM squared?
So anyway, ang career ko kasi, as I've said, started being a geologist. Then I tried to work sa mining company before pag-graduate way back in 1982. So I show you my age, my bachelor's. I worked sa Atlas Mining, no? So na-base ako sa Masbate, sa Cebu, sa buong Philippines po. Kasama ako sa exploration group. But somehow, deep inside, medyo gusto kong, I want to teach. So there's a burning desire. At the same time, another factor is pag nasa exploration ka, you rarely see your family. So deep inside, dahil nga although malaki ang diferensya sa sahod, be compared sa mga teachers, but deep inside you have to ask yourself, am I really happy on what I'm doing right now? So nag-apply ako sa University of the Philippines, and awa ng Diyos, kinuha ako ni Dr. Punong Bayan. Siguro kilala niyo, you have heard him before. Siya yung naging commissioner ng FIVOLCS. And so kinuha niya ako, and I stayed there for 7 years. And then I worked with the two German professors. Yeah, hindi professors, kasi nagkaroon kami ng bilateral agreement between UP tsaka Germany.
And Germany, okay.
Yeah, so from there, pinadala nila ako sa Germany to do additional study. And sooner or later, nung dumiretso na ako na Australia to continue my PhD, no? Pero again, just to be honest with you, pagbalik ko sa Pilipinas, starting with the rank of an assistant professor, I found out, and this is true to my heart, I'm not being, I found out that my stipend is more than my salary as a assistant professor. So now, survivability na ng pamilya mo to. So I have to go back again sa industry. And it's a good thing na Australia, being one of the world's top leading mineral exploration company, hinire nila ako. So, so I worked there for almost 10 years. And then again, that burning desire na magtuto teach, somehow, nung nasa Bangkok ako, nabasa ko, siguro this is the same pattern with all the other US-based Philippine Pinoy teachers, no? Nung nasa Bangkok ako, nabasa ko, US in dire demand of math, science, special ed, and bilingual teachers. So call this number. So yeah, I called that number, and it took probably more than a year to pass the exam, to process the papers, and eventually I was in a group last August 2002, we flew to Brownsville, Texas. Began my career as a teacher.
You know what, Joel? Kasi yung linya mo of expertise, bihira sa atin yan, it's very few lang kayo doon. So you really are very much needed there to teach yung would-be geologist or, mga gusto mag-explore. Mm-hmm. Kaya kailangan ka talaga doon. But then, the sad thing is, sa atin nga ang mga teachers ay napakababa ng bayad. That's why we leave, and then go somewhere where you can live more decently, di ba? So, now my question is, you have been an explorer of mines and now an explorer of mines pa din. Can you give us yung comparison mo, yung how are they different and how are they the same? Kasi yung outlook mo as both in two areas ay napakalawak, hindi namin alam yan. Paano ba nagkakapareho at nagkakaiba?
Sige po. Maganda po yung analogy na yan. Kasi nakita ko nung habang natuturo na ako sa US, sabi ko, itong strategy na ginagawa namin sa mine, sa minahan dati, it's a very similar to sa education, no? But basically, it's to explore the minds of students. So, and out of that, you're going to enhance their creativity, which, as you know, it's the beyond the Bloom's taxonomy level. So, ginamit ko yung scientific method sa pagtuturo ko sa science and likes exploration, which are project-driven. Kailangan gumamit ka ng several, you need to be flexible with the scientific method. So sabi ko sa sarili ko, magandang analogy to sa gamitin sa mga estudyante na maging project-based. Correct. Instead of memorization, you really need to let them think at a higher level. And sabi ko sa mga estudyante ko, the highest level of performance is actually, can you design? Can you design a method? And when you design, you need to use your creativity. So that's the reason why sa akin very similar ang methods ng exploration sa minahan tsaka exploration ng minds ng mga estudyante.
Anong grade level ang tinuturo mo presently?
Sa high school po, ang tinuturo ko presently are most juniors and seniors. So juniors sa physics, tapos sa environmental science mga seniors. So 4 na science ang kailangan nila. Sa college naman, of course, anywhere from introductory geology courses hanggang sa conceptual physics for teachers, no? So pati mga teachers tinuturuan ko rin mostly yung mga nagma-masters, kumukuha na lang masters.
Okay, okay.
You mean in here, in America?
America.
Ano po yun?
In here, in America, you mean?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, I
You
have 4
finished?
jobs. I have 4 jobs.
Wow. Yeah, you finished your doctorate here, right?
No po, sa Australia.
Sa Australia.
Way back 1995. So,
Oh.
matagal na.
Okay.
How would you, Dr. Joel, how would you describe yung interest ng mga estudyante mo sa subject na itinuturo mo, especially the subjects that you love? Are they interested or are they just so-so, or how would you describe it?
Well, as you know, you never choose your students, di ba? Sa public education. That's a big difference between sa college, tsaka sa high school. Sa college, as you know, they are really there to learn something. Sa high school, well, gagamitin ko yung principle ng Star Trek, engage. Okay, so you engage, and and that's that's the trickiest part, being an educator. How are you going to engage your student right at the very, very start of a new science topic?
Okay.
And so you need to, meron kaming tinatawag na gagamit ka ng real world example or a demo that will lead to further exploration ng kanilang isip. And then very important ngayon is tatanong lagi ng estudyante, what does this lesson mean to me in real life?
The meaning of it.
The real world application.
Correct.
So I think that's one, being an old teacher already, more what I call more experienced teacher, and being also coming from the industry, sometimes I can explain to them what it means. Why do you need to learn this process? So,
okay. Yeah. I have a question. You mentioned here that right now you are teaching science, physics,
Yes,
and in college you are also one of their adjunct instructor and
right.
teaching geology, right?
Yeah.
And I would like to ask, can you compare the curriculum content of the Philippines,
Science.
right, of our physics that you are teaching right now, the curriculum in there and in here?
It's the content of science all over the world is the same.
Okay.
Science is science, and that's the beauty. We use a common language, which is mathematics. A Chinese, Korean, Iraqi, Iranian, African student, you can actually conduct a class. In fact, that's what I did last year. I was a guest lecturer of a school in the Middle East, and they speak although basic English, but they can understand the mathematics behind it. So the only difference is that Philippines, and it's not because of the fault of the teachers or the fault of the college faculty, we severely lack laboratory equipment.
Exactly.
Ayun ang kaya karamihan sa mga foreign teachers coming from mostly the Philippines or India, madaming hinahire ng mga Indian teachers din dito. We are really good in theory, but naging wake-up call din sa akin dito pagdating ng practicals. Nako, sabi ko, when I was new in Texas, I really have to learn a lot of practical ways of how to approach in the lab. So I have to undergo a lot of training. And we are really blessed here in the United States. We have lots of grants, lots of training, and we have good, in my school district, the principal is very supportive of science teachers. Each science teacher, we have our own lab. So basically, that's the only difference. But yung enthusiasm ng bata, probably we can also discuss that. The Philippines although no longer a third world country, but still people there actually wants to learn. Why? Because we are driven by our values that education is the pathway out of hardship, out of poverty. It is totally different here in the United States, where although there's poverty there, but you cannot compare poverty in America, which is up here, and poverty in the Philippines, which is down here. Okay, so how how do you now you have to invent or be creative in your teaching methods on how to entice American students to hook them in your subject matter. Yan ho yan lagi. It's a daily battle yan. We are all educators.
At sa Philippines, iba naman na challenge, ano?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have another question.
Yeah po.
So you graduated as Bachelor of Science in Geology?
Geology.
Okay.
Geology.
Geology. Sa mga students right now, like if they graduate in geology, Bachelor of Science in Geology, what are some of the jobs that, that are awaiting
Are open for them.
right
Yeah.
before them? Yes.
Geology, as you know, is one of the most basic sciences po yan. No?
Mm-mm.
And it's a very, very wide field of science.
True.
And as I told my students, that my expertise is what you call applied geology. Okay, so geologists, if by salary wise, the highest paid are what we call the petroleum geologist and the mineral exploration geologist. So my main aim there is to explain to people that without geologists searching for these mineral, non-mineral, and energy resources, the civilization will collapse. Kasi you need all of these background material resources to support civilization. Di po ba? Okay, so the highest paid level is in this category. I'll be honest with you. If the senior geologists in the areas of being senior geologists and upwards, they can earn as much as more than 200 to 300K
In the
a year.
Philippines?
No, dito sa US. However, sa Philippines, geologists are also paid very well. Now, you're talking here of salaries of more than 200, 300 grand a month. So, yeah. Hindi po ano yan. Yung mga mineral explorers, 200 to 300 grand a month.
A month? Wow.
So malaki po ang question sa akin, bakit ako umalis sa Pilipinas before where my salary is already good and then start as a teacher all over again here in the United States. So which I can continue later as the program goes on. Pero now, may mga type naman na geologists na we need them for what you call for hazards, volcanic eruptions, diba? Earthquake mitigation, or environmental, and of course, teaching then. So being a geologist is a very diversified field.
Ganda, ano? They can teach. So as what you said, they work in the mining companies. Right, Doc?
But as I've said, diversified po ang geology. May mga geologists na nag-work sa mine, may mga geologists na nag-work sa oil industry, may mga geologists na they work with civil engineers kasi kailangan malaman mo bago mag-design ng mga civil engineers ng mga buildings, bridges, dams, they need to have geologists kasi sila yung nakakaalam sa rock types, di ba? Yung structures ng rocks.
Correct.
And then there are geologists too who work closely with volcanoes and earthquake, so that they can advise the governor or the president
of the status of the area.
Yeah,
Okay.
of an
Si Tita
area.
Josie, siguro si Tita Josie meron ding
Yes,
question.
Ay, dumating si Josie. Hi, Josie.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't expect to be here right now. I'm not feeling
But
well.
thank you, Tita. Thank you. You are still here with us. All right. So,
You
yes.
guys,
Do you have a question, Tita?
not right now.
With Joel. Okay. Tita Paset?
Yeah, I have a question, Joel. Let's think about the Philippines muna, yung mga geology graduates natin. Like you said, pwede sila magturo, tapos pwede sa mga mina, is it a big market of jobs for them or limitado lang talaga yung jobs para sa mga geologists natin?
That's a very good question po. In terms of the mining industry, Well, it depends kung sino nakaupo sa higher ups. I don't want to go to the politics of this, but that's the bottom line, no?
Right.
The Philippines is a well-endowed country in terms of mineral deposits. We are one of the top big country in the world that has rich in
In the mining,
mineral
yeah.
resources. Yeah. So, however, uh, because yung background ng iba na mga small-scale miners na hindi sila professionally trained how to handle small-scale mining, I'll be honest with you, nasisira ang environment. And then there
Oh.
are several mining companies now who actually doesn't follow the proper rules, then ganun din medyo naapektuhan ang environment. But in reality, if we do it scientifically the right way, a lot of countries these days like Australia, United States, with proper implementation and proper following of the rules, ang mining industry thrives well with the community. So the only problem really sa Philippines is, do we really follow the rules? And basically, it goes back to any business, graft and corruption. So if we actually follow, I think everybody knows that hindi lang naman in all types of transactions
Of
in business.
course.
Yeah. So yun po ang that's my comment. And geology is actually needed across many areas kasi the Philippines now is in its heightened boom of infrastructure development.
Okay.
And geologists are being hired left and right.
Oh, really?
And then, this is for the geotechnical services rather than the mining.
In where? In the Philippines?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lalo na nung before the pandemic, of course, right now, slow down tayo lahat. But even before the pandemic, left and right ang hiring ng mga geologists with the geotechnical background.
Wow.
And geologists for the environment. Kasi you really need also to study the environment sa environmental feasibility studies, mitigation. And we also need actually geologists to teach in public schools. Not many geologists actually go to the field of teaching in public schools. Many geologists will rather teach sa tertiary level, but not in the public education. And this is similar sa America, sa United States. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I have another question. I am very curious about SEPON, SEPON. Did I say it right?
Yes, ma'am. SEPON. We call it SEPON.
Okay. Can you please tell us about that? Kasi it seems like it is one of the highlights of your career sa mining industry or mining or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us about that? Ako rin curious ako.
Yeah. So, ano po yun as I've said, after coming back from my doctorate in Australia, I was about to start being an assistant professor sa UP, sa National Institute of Geological Sciences. And then, nakita ko, sabi ko as I've said, this is a very difficult salary as an assistant professor. So I have to, unfortunately, I have to look for means to support my family.
Of course.
And it's a good thing. My expertise at that time, way back in the early 1990s, the mineral exploration all over the world is in dire demand for geologists, with many years of experience. So there's this Australian company who went to the Philippines, and he interviewed. He said he's going to choose 2 geologists for a project in Laos, and he interviewed about 10, 20 geologists in the fields, mga Filipino geologists. And among all of them, I'm the least qualified because I have only 1 or 2 years of mineral industry experience. That is because of my atlas. The rest is in academics.
Okay.
But so I told the exploration manager, give me the chance. I'm going to apply my field of expertise in your exploration site in Laos. And by the way, boss, I said, I named all my children after, I call gold deposits in Nevada. So during the interview process, because he asked me, do I have an experience in working for copper mines? Yes, that's my doctoral dissertation. How about gold mines? I said, that's my master's thesis. How
Wow.
about those gold mines in Nevada? Sabi ko, no, I've never been to the States at that time. But I said, I named all my children after gold deposits in Nevada. So after a month, he gave me a call and said, I like your interview, Joel. So he hired me. And so I stayed with the company. And as I've said, I was really very glad to work with a very good team of Lao geologists who were trained by the Soviets in detailed field mapping, the Australian geologists who are very good in technology, and most of the Filipino geologists too, who can speak both English and has the industry experience that can work between Asian countries and Western, Western culture.
Right,
So
right.
that's the reason why the company hired about three, and I think five geologists, but I was the last two who left the company. So it was in a remote area in Laos. It's a very difficult area to reach, but eventually,
Yeah,
after
that's
many many years of
Mhm.
exploration, we were able to find four gold deposits and two copper deposits, so worth $13 billion at that time.
Wow.
So now they are
Oh,
mining it now. So if you
They're
just
still,
Google,
they're
yeah,
still
still,
mining it. Yeah.
yes, ma'am. So if you look at, simply Google Sepon mine, yeah, it will give you several Google hits, and then you can open it. But
Oh,
I was
wonderful.
part of the party who initially explored it way back in the early 1990s until the bankable feasibility studies. I even accompanied the CEO to raise $150 million. So we traveled, and then I decided to leave the company when the mine was about to start.
Why did
Uh, Ayan nga, and the manager was, yeah, that's a very good question kasi
you leave?
I said I filed my resignation, and he said, Joel, why are you resigning? And he said, sir, in all honesty, I am getting burned out. It's a very good salary.
Yeah.
You constantly travel, all the perks of being in the industry. But I told him, I'll be honest with you. I think I miss my family very much.
Oh, they were not with you. Kaya
Because being an explorer,
oh.
we go 6 weeks on, 6 weeks out, away from the family, and 2 weeks off. 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off,
Oh
and
my
if you do that for
gosh.
almost a decade,
uh-huh.
yeah, you will have a burnout stage, So
Mm.
so at that time, I said to my superior, I said, I'm leaving. I said, where are you going? Are you going? Yes, I'm going to the United States, or I'm going to immigrate. Good. We can actually find you a job there. No, no, no. I'm going to be a teacher. And then, sorry, I have to say this. He has to say these expletive words.
Oh,
I said, why are you going to the United States as a teacher? They are not even paid well there as a geologist. I know, but I said,
You chase your passion.
I changed my passion. I like to
Yeah.
teach, and when I was also a senior geologist, I was actually teaching also even the other geologists. So I
Yes.
was even, I was a mentor to a good number of them. So teaching is already
In
a part of
you.
my job.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Tita Josie, you have a question?
Yes, I do. When you made your decision to, leave your position, was there any regrets? Because you said you just accumulated
That's a
money,
good question.
50 million. That's a lot.
accumulated po ano? What did you say?
Sabi niyo yung pera na punta sa kumpanya 100
13 billion.
That's, you deciding to quit, maybe you could have worked for another 1 or 2 years. And first of all, I want to know, did you resign with retirement, or did you just resign just to be separated from the company?
The company po, I owe my financial background with my previous company. They're a very good Australian company. I've never regretted working with them. In fact, I think they're building me to become a country manager. So, but I deep inside my heart, I said, what's the worth of all this money? di ba?
That's right.
Binigyan naman nila ako ng konting separation pay for being part of the discovery team. So, which I use as an investment sa Philippines, and it's still an operating investment.
Very good.
So I've never regretted, but ito po, no, I have to make probably being a scientist, I have to make what I call a risky forecast in the future.
Correct.
A risky forecast. So I said it was really a struggle for my family the first couple of years Texas, kasi I came here on a working visa. And if you are on a working visa, your dependents are on a dependent visa. The spouse cannot work, and of course my children at that time, they're still in the elementary and high school, middle school level. So I'm the only sole breadwinner, and we have to sustain that until we receive our work permit. Prior to the green card, once they start processing your green card, you have to wait for a work permit. So it was really a big financial struggle. I said, just hang on. And then once the work permit was issued, then that means I can also work other part-time jobs. So that was part of my plan within what I call 5 to 7 year plan. If I can, sustain or live within this minimum income as a teacher here, and then if we ever receive our work permit, then hopefully things will get better. So, just to be honest with you, as I've said, in order for me, because sometimes I compare my salary as a senior geologist with the other colleagues in other countries. So that means that's the reason why I have to have 4 jobs.
But
You make me laugh. Joel, you make me laugh.
And no, that's true. That's the reason why I said, in order for me to make the same salary as my colleagues in the industry, I have to sustain 4 jobs. And I've been doing this for the last 14 years now, having 2 and then now 4 jobs, being a part-time.
What are those jobs? Can you
They're all
sign?
part-time po.
Oh, part-time sa college.
Part-time sa college. 3 colleges ang tinuturuan ko.
Oh.
Yeah, 3 colleges.
Was there ever a time where you are alone and you say, "Doggone it, I shouldn't quit my job"?
Bakit nag-quit ako being a geologist?
No,
Never.
Yeah, you're right. Once in a while, I miss being,
The real geologist.
yeah, the real geologist, especially pag nakikita mo yung ugali ng bata every day. You know that, you are all veteran education.
Sabi mo, sana ako boss na. Ako ang boss doon sa Pilipinas.
Yeah,
Grabe, siguro ano ka na ngayon doon sa Pilipinas. Oh my God.
Pero in all honesty, I've never regretted it. Kasi
Of course.
I like to see, at the end of the day, my family, my wife, empty nesters na kami. So all I need from now is not to accumulate wealth. All I need is I need some financial status such that you can maintain and your retirement without asking money from your children.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. And I'm really, really glad I made that decision. It was very tough initially, but now I'm so happy I made that decision. Yeah.
Scientist yan. Scientist. So, mga forecasting, grabe na sila. Okay, go ahead, Tita Paset. Wow.
Yun na nga, you are a very passionate geologist, scientist, etc., etc. And you said sa iyong bio note that you occasionally conduct part-time contract or consulting work for mining companies. What is that all about? Can you please tell us?
Yes, Mama. Once in a while, especially during summer, I never have any dull time. So even during summer, I still teach part-time sa college. There's so many there's a big demand for part-time faculty. So I make sure that I still teach. In fact, every summer, I still teach about 5 courses during summer sa mga colleges. But sometimes, I got bored with teaching. So I have to contact my friends all over the world. And some of them, a good number of them are based in Nevada.
Uh-huh.
And I asked them, do you have any contract work that I can do during summer? So they asked me to do one like a few years
Five.
ago.
Hindi lang yun, 4, 5 na ngayon.
A few years ago po, I work in sa Death Valley, at the border with California and Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah, sa area doon, may isang mineral exploration site ng gold doon. And June and July for 7 weeks. Okay?
You go to the site.
Yeah, hindi po mine yun, it's an exploration area.
Kaya nga, you go to the site.
Yeah, I went to the site.
Okay.
And then, during June and July are the height of summer months sa Nevada.
Oh, that's
So I have to sustain.
Tita Josie. Oh, Joel, excuse me. You have to visit Tita Josie. It's there in Nevada.
yes. Bring your
I have
family here.
I have very good friends po sa Nevada, Ma'am Josie.
Oh.
In
Oh,
fact,
so?
I'm pretty sure alam niyo Las Vegas.
They know Tita Josie there.
I will ask them, and some of them are retired Navy.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
And so Nevada was my home for a few years even before. I practically went around all over Nevada, all the way from Reno, Elko. I'm pretty sure you know that.
that's in the northern part.
Yeah, practically all around po. And then sa Death Valley din, sa Beatty. I think you know where Beatty is as well. So
So
very
well.
nice. I love actually to settle there. And that's one of my dreams because
Nandiyan ka na naman from Georgia na naman. Punta ka naman sa...
kita niyo naman yung aking kasi why I like Nevada?
Mapanivada na naman si Joel, oh.
Because if you drive in Nevada, as far as you can see God's creation.
Oh, no. Oo, totoo yan.
If you drive here in the East
Beautiful.
Coast, you look on sa highway, you look on the left, trees. You look on the right, trees. You look forward, the trees as well.
Jeez. Terrific. Joel, I have a question. Ngayon, also pa yan sa Philippines. You remember before, they throw, ano ba yun, ang mga bombs daw yung ang site, gina-throw ng mababa.
Explosives.
Oo.
Yeah.
Hanggang ngayon, ganun pa rin ang proseso.
Yes, ma'am. Kasi, remember, we as a civilization, we cannot exist without mineral and energy resources.
Correct.
Do I get an amen from you? Amen ba sa inyo yan? Amen?
Correct. Yeah. True.
Let me just give you an example. No?
Doon ang pastor. Pastor, ito yaman.
Okay,
You are funny.
Itong
Okay, go
cellphone
ahead.
po natin, itong cellphone, each cellphone that we use,
Mhm.
we have to mine anywhere between 2 to 4 tons of rock.
Right.
2 to 4 tons of rock. And that's only a cell phone. So can you imagine all the amenities of our civilization in order to maintain a comfortable lifestyle? And according to study, in order to support an average American, we need in our lifetime 3 million pounds of all the mineral resources. I will repeat po, 3 million
Wow.
pounds of all the mineral resources.
300 million?
No, 3 million po. 3 million pounds
3 million pounds
Per
of
person.
mineral.
of minerals in our lifetime in order to support us, each one of us. So we are the envy of the entire world,
Correct.
American lifestyle. So if the entire world with a population of 7.5 billion wants to become have an American lifestyle, we need 3 Earths.
Okay.
3
Wow.
Earths. How many
Oh
Earths
my
do we have
gosh.
so far? 1. So during sa mining process po, you go deeper and wider. And
Correct.
sometimes you encounter, it's not deep, After a few
Wow.
hundred feet, you will reach solid bedrock.
Uh-huh.
So once you reach solid bedrock, the only way you can start mining is through the use of explosives.
Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes
Ganun
people call
pa
it
rin.
dynamite, but we call it
Oh,
non-dynamite.
dynamite.
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
different type of what you call dynamite. It's actually different.
So that is the only way?
Yeah.
That is the only way in order for us to go deeper in there.
Yeah, For mineral resources,
Wow.
deeper is to use explosives. The deepest mine in the world is about 3 miles down.
3 miles. Where is
Three
that?
miles down. Sa South Africa, mga diamond mines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
And
Ay,
the large,
parang gusto ko na lang, Tita Josie,
Geology.
mag-geologist na naman ako. This is too interesting. But anyway,
yeah.
we have...
Mr. Aquino, I just want to share something to you.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was younger, ang father ko, he's a very, very intelligent guy. Oh, he speaks good English. His handwriting is superb, and but he drinks a lot.
Oh,
And yeah, he drinks a lot. And he always stay in Escolta. There's a little cafeteria there that called Plaza Cafe. And that is his place to go to drink coffee and all of that. And when growing up, I asked my mother, I said, Ma, what is my dad doing? What is his job? And my mother said, well, why don't you ask him? So I asked my father, because our life is, that's something else. I have to tell you sometimes. But so I went and approached my dad, and I said, Dad, what do you do? What is your job? And my father told me, oh, I am a mining prospector.
What is that mining prospector?
I don't know.
Naghahanap ng mga kwan.
Na prospect. Hanap na naman siguro kung saan ang diamond, kung saan ang mga gold.
Because when he comes home, Mr. Aquino, I was expecting, and I was young. I said, geology. I thought, oh, it's about gems and all. I was expecting him to bring home emeralds and whatnot. Oh, we will be rich. But every time I find him from Masbate, Mindoro, and all those other provinces, he brings home agila, monkeys, and these are not the things you find me.
Gosh, you're funny, Tita. Anyway, Tita Josie. Anyway, at least your dad has had job before.
Not a job. That is something he just do, I think.
Oh, it was not a geologist. You are funny. But anyway, I'll cut you off. We got only 10 minutes left. Tita Josie, you have to tell me later what is that job your dad was having. Okay, so we thank you very much, Sir Joel.
yes, ma'am.
From being an explorer of mines, MINES, you became an explorer of minds, which is very good. As geologist, your story inspires us very well. You told us your story so much, so very rich. And tonight, we're going to end this by asking you what you can tell to our young people this time who wants to be a geologist.
Encourage them.
What encouragement that you want to give?
Yeah, each one of us is actually inherently a geologist. It's just
Tita, you believe that?
Oh.
Because we want to explore.
Correct.
We are all migrants.
Correct. True.
All of us. So we don't even know what is awaiting for us from the Philippines. So inherently, you have actually the natural curiosity of a geologist, and you are also a risk taker. Okay, and so if you have a passion, especially for an outdoors, the field, knowing nature. Specifically for geology, I call my field the rock whisperers.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
So if you study rocks, the rocks will talk back to you. And remember, we only have one Earth. And if you actually look in detail, you will we will also learn that the Earth, aside from being very, very old, holds so much secrets, so much scientific secrets. So if this is your field, if you think you have the passion for this, then I encourage young people to take geology or being an earth scientist. And sooner or later, Earth is not our home in the future. Okay. So, okay, we are actually a star species. Our future home will be the heavens. Sooner or later, humanity is going to go to the moon, going to go to Mars, going to the and live in some of the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and probably in some other planets in the future.
Mhm.
One of the very early scientists that are going to explore are geologists to search for our new home.
Wow.
Now, whether we like it or not, as I've said, we will not stay here on Earth forever.
Mm-mm.
Medyo
True.
masakit sabihin yun, pero no matter what we do, a basic law of science is, of physics is entropy. So with our use, we are going to produce a lot of waste, whether we like it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Tita Paset, do you have the quote for tonight?
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Hmm.
Tita Josie, you have?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And this is from Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think.
Ah, cool. Very beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Einstein yan. Kay Einstein. Yes. Okay, Tita Paset.
Okay, yes, okay. This is about logic and imagination.
Mm.
It will get you from A to B,
Mhm.
but imagination will take you everywhere.
Yes, endless to imagine.
Wow, beautiful. Let's go to Sir Joel.
Sa akin po, ma'am, one of my uh, favorite quotation is from one of our African American leaders. Her name is Maya Angelou, and I've learned, and this is what she said, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And this is so true to us
Totoo.
educators.
Right,
Di ba?
right. Very
Because we will
Totoo.
remember how our teachers before, how they, they made us feel.
Yes.
It's true. Thank you very much. Mine is this. We were talking about rocks, okay, or rock. This is it. Rock is a great master of life.
Oh.
It teaches us this simple philosophy: stay firm. Okay? Stay firm.
Very good.
Like rock. Stay firm. Thank you very much, Dr. Joel Aquino. We are very happy that you are with us tonight. And Tita Pasit, Tita Josie, I thought we're gonna miss you completely today. But thank you. You hindi mo kayang wala ka dito sa amin. And we are very thankful about that. Thank you, Johan. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to us. This will be aired next Saturday, this Saturday. Okay, thank you very much. Doc, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Regards to
Thank
the family, Doc.
you. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Beautiful.